Okay, now the story in Mafia 2, Jimmy's Vendetta, is pretty simple. I mean, it's the simple kind of revenge tale, and I've been saying that for a lot of these games and movies, like Machete I just said it for, and this I'm saying it for, and I'm pretty sure there was another one, but it's pretty much you play as Jimmy, who is just, he's the guy to go to. He's the guy to go to if you want stuff done in the Mafia. If you want someone killed, you talk to Jimmy. If you want someone driven to the death, you talk to Jimmy. If you want someone to meet someone they like to die, then you talk to Jimmy. And I don't know what that means. And so, yeah, he's the go-to guy. And for some reason, he gets betrayed. Now, they don't really talk about why he gets betrayed really that much, but I'm guessing, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's bald. I don't know. Probably. And, I mean, I never played the sequel, the prequel to this, which was on the PS3, because I only have it for the 360. So I'm not really sure why he got betrayed, but it's probably because he's bald. I'm guessing he's bald. But the story is very simple, and really don't talk about the story. It's really just arcade-style kind of story, really. It's just like, he got betrayed, he wants revenge, you do all this stuff, and you kill the people that betrayed you. It's pretty simple overall. So the story, not very great, but still okay for what story there is. Mostly because Jimmy's actually a really cool looking character, and a really cool sounding character. You talk to Jimmy, he'll get you done. So, you know what? I like that character enough for me to go, you know what, the story's okay. So let's go into the sound of this DLC. Okay, now the sound, Jimmy, the voice actor for Jimmy, I'm not really sure who he is, but I'll just say it, he sounds badass. He talks like this. I don't know, I do it bad, but he's like, hey, you need something done? You talk to Jimmy. He sounds Italian. He sounds badass. And I gotta admit, his voice actor is really good. And he's probably one of my new favorite characters in Mafia. I know Mafia only been out for a couple weeks, but really, this is a really cool character. I really like him. And the sound effects are really just overall the same from Mafia 2. Like, the cars sound great. The soundtrack is still great. Whenever you pause the menu, it still has that kind of sad song. If you played Mafia 2, it's like ding, ding, ding. And the only reason why I'm talking about it is because it's in the background right now. And, the sound's still overall pretty much the same, so it's still really good. Except for the voice actor for Jimmy, he's really cool. So I like his voice actor. Even though he doesn't talk all that much, he still sounds pretty cool. So let's go on to the graphics of the game. Okay, now the graphics in Mafia 2, Jimmy's Vendetta, is pretty much the same as Mafia 2. So really there's not much to talk about in graphics. It might look a little different because it's always in the sunlight and you can see all the nice looking like environments like the grass and stuff, and you can also see some of the crappy textures and stuff, but you also see the nice car models and stuff. So overall, I just thought the graphics for the Mafia 2 DLC is really cool. Now let me talk about the character model for Mafia. Mafia, what the fuck? For Jimmy. Jimmy looks really cool, I gotta admit. He's bald, so you know he's badass, and he looks a lot like Bruce Willis. He doesn't really, well actually, he sounds a little bit like Bruce Willis, and if they ever made a movie with him in it for some reason, then Bruce Willis could definitely play him. But that won't be for another few years, and Bruce Willis would probably retired by then. So, hopefully he doesn't. So overall, I thought the character model of him looks really cool. He looks really rugged, he sounds really rugged, and he just looks like a badass overall. He looks like maybe a little too stereotypically badass, but, because he has the sunglasses, he's got the tuxedo. You even see him on the poster, he's lighting his cigarette with a Molotov, and, maybe a little too stereotypical, but, he could be a badass without being like, yo, I'm badass. But still, I thought he looked really cool overall. So, the graphics in Mafia 2 are the same, but the character model for Jimmy kind of stands out. So let's go on to the gameplay of Mafia 2. Jimmy. Anyway, the gameplay in Jimmy's Vendetta is, I would say, pretty much the same as Mafia 2 also, but they structure it differently. Now, this time, for all the people who are like, oh, it's pretty much like a linear kind of game set in an open world environment, so you can go roam around, but you're really doing missions. This is completely different. You can go around and select your missions as you want. You can go and do this one or do this one at any time you want, and you could do, if you can pretty much go roam around if you just want, maybe go and steal some cars and stuff, and you won't feel like that you have to do these missions, because they're not even on your mini-map. That's the thing. They don't even show you on your mini-map where you have to go. You have to actually go and select it in the menu, and that's really cool. It just makes it feel like it is a open world environment. Like, many people were like, it's really not an open world environment. Now it feels more like one. So there you go. Play Jimmy's DLC and you'll feel much more like one because you get to actually pick your missions here and there. Now the missions themselves are very short, I have to mention. Each one is pretty freaking short. They range from stealing a car, killing a bunch of people, blowing up gas stations, it's all that stuff, except they're all scored. So you can, get this much amount of points in one mission, or you can retry it and get this amount, just try to get the highest score. So it puts a lot of replayability. The problem is that these missions are kind of short and kind of, some of them in the beginning are kind of easy. Like, one is just you escaping a prison and beating up 2 cops. That's it. That's all you do. And that's the first mission. Alright, so, sure, it's pretty easy, but that's all you do. You just beat up 2 cops and get out. So it didn't feel like it was like you had to get through this whole big security stuff. No, you just beat up 2 cops and get out of there. So really, that's one problem. Or maybe 3 cops. I don't really remember. So, some of the missions do feel kind of stale, but later on it gets much better. So overall, I actually really like the DLC for Mafia 2. Sure, it came a little early, but that's not a problem for me. I mean, I'm not going to be like everybody else and say, "Oh, this could have been added on," even though it has nothing to do with Mafia 2 story. So I don't know how it could have been added on. I mean, it would have been nice if it was added on. Just like, hey, guess what? You get an extra little story here that's about 5 hours long. Have fun. That would have been cool, but for DLC, it's not bad. It's $10, not bad at all. I think if you really like Mafia 2, you'll like this. It has a more arcade-style feel to it, and it's pretty fun, I have to admit. Now, I don't know if I'm going to replay it a lot. I might replay a little bit, but maybe not a lot. So, if you're looking for this to be a game you're going to keep replaying just to get a high score, then I don't think it's going to be. But hopefully maybe they'll add on some multiplayer stuff later on. Maybe, that'll be cool. So overall, I really like this DLC. And check my full written review. Well, okay, not full written review. People give me shit for saying that. My written review that just pretty much describes what I said in each topic in one sentence on the bottom of the description, where the description is. There you go. So anyway, there you go. There's my review for the DLC for Mafia 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and good day.